I'm Tina Coffelt. I'm an assistant professor at Iowa State University. I teach Intro to Interpersonal Communication for the Communication Studies program. I also teach Speech Communication 312, which is a business and professional speaking course. I've taught English 302, Business Communication, and in the future I hope to teach some graduate level research courses for the graduate students in RPC. I have a bachelor's degree in management. I have a master's in business administration. My undergraduate degree I obtained at Florida International University, and my master's is from Northwest Missouri State University, and I hold a PhD in communication studies from the University of Missouri. My emphasis for research centers on the discussion of difficult topics, primarily sexual information, and how that's managed in interpersonal, family, and workplace relationships. In a teaching perspective, I'm really interested in interpersonal and family communication, and I'm also interested in how these particular concepts apply in workplace settings. I have several research projects ongoing. I am currently collecting data. I'm calling it the Shades of Gray Project. I'm interested in how women in particular who have read any or all of the Shades of Gray book have adapted or modified or talked about the Shades of Gray book with people in their interpersonal networks. I'm also collecting data called the Just Say No Project. I'm interviewing college students, males and females, and asking them about the discourse, the messages, the conversations that they've had when they have said no to the opportunity for sexual activity. I have ongoing data analysis of sexual communication, sexual topics, sexual disclosure, and apprehension in marital couples as well. I love education. Learning is one of the most important values to me, and I love working in an environment where I am immersed in something that is so very important to me. Everything about this job is about learning, it's about growth, it's about collaboration. And so I can use that in a research perspective, I can use that in the classroom, and being around college students is also very exciting as they're at the cusp of finding out who they are and emerging into their professional lives, their public lives, who they want to be as citizens and family members. It's also really exciting to walk with them as they go through these wonderful periods of discovery. I also like the flexibility and autonomy that come with this job. It's very demanding. There are a lot of hours put in during the work, but being able to be self-directed in my work and conceptualizing ideas that I have for my own research, to have a lot of choice about what I teach, those are things that are important to me in a job as well. And so I'm really glad to be in an environment that supports that type of employee empowerment. I became a professor because I love learning, and it actually happened, the story is rather happenstance. I was in my master's program and one of my professors asked, "Have you ever thought about getting a PhD?" And I said, "No, tell me more." And I would have never considered doctoral education had that professor not asked me the question. And that really sparked the interest. I started to learn more. I talked to faculty members about graduate programs, and that's really what sparked my interest, and then I followed through on that, and it was the best decision I could have made for my professional life. The courses I'm currently teaching have a lot of relevance to the communication that students enact on a day-to-day basis. The communication discussed in the Intro to Interpersonal Communication is primarily communication used in conversation, in relationships, with family, friend, romantic, and even workplace relational partners. Those people that they're interacting with. And so I'm able to give students both the big picture of theory as well as some practical application. They can leave class the very day that we discuss a concept, and they can put it into practice that very day. And they can experiment and try new things and see how well they are able to offer social support on the day that we talk about social support, for example. And so it's pretty exciting to be able to offer them insight into something that I'm, first of all, pretty good at, and that's especially true in the business communication classes, whether they're written or spoken. Those are tasks that I've been relatively good at for most of my own life and professional career, and so to be able to say, this has worked for me, it's backed up by research, and here's something you can do to impact your life in a positive way, is very rewarding.